The Erdtree does not claim all souls. Those it rejects now haunt Nokron's sun-bleached spires. The city lies buried, yet echoes the lands between with uncanny precision. Blueprints in its ruins chart realms never built above. Why? The answer hums beneath the paleblood's glow where roots pierce cracked stone. Nokron is no ruin. It is a shadow world waiting to rise. Chart realms never Nokrons built above, spires were not built to decay. Why? A subterranean Eden, its builders sought to mend the Erdtree's fractures by rewriting the design, perfecting the divine code in shadow. Blueprints etched into its walls depict cities that crumble on the surface, structures never raised, roads that mirror ruin. What was tested here? What version of the lands between thrives in the dark? The Palebloods guard secrets their ancestors engineered, a parallel realm where healing never turned to rot. But perfection demands a price. The roots that choke Nokron do not merely feed it, is the Erdtree's wound, siphoning this mirror world to sustain its cursed crown. A city of salvation, its heart beats with the parasite it was meant to cure. The parasite thrived, the founder's vision curdled into a prison of their own making. Beneath the surface they carved Nokron, a mirror not of the lands between, but of its unspoken twin. Here the Erdtree's roots coiled in silence, fed by the ring's stolen light. Why do its architects' blueprints etch valleys that do not exist? The answer festers in the stone. Nokron was never meant to break the cycle. It was the cycle. A chrysalis where the Elden rings will slumbered, waiting to birth a new age of rot. The founders, heirs to Placidusac's fading flame, sought to graft eternity onto a dying god. They did not know the ring's truth, that it was not a gift, but a ledger. Every life force, every shattered star, every drop of blood spilled in its name was recorded. Nokron's spires are not monuments, they are pages. The city breathes because it remembers. When the last flamekeeper extinguished their charge, the founders tunneled downward, not to escape decay, but to become its nucleus. They planted the Erdtree not as salvation, but as vault. The lands between above is the shadow play. The real covenant was sealed below, the blueprints you find. They are not maps, they are invitations. To raid them is to see the lands between as it was always meant to be, a key waiting for a lock it was never told existed. The great ones carved their labyrinths into the bone of the earth, their blueprints etching a world both familiar and twisted. Their spires pierced deeper than death, glowing with a light that defied the stars. They sought children in rituals only they could fathom, their forms shifting between nightmare and hymn. The frenzied flame, an outer god, was not worshipped but wrestled, bound to forge the city's heart into a mirror of the lands above. Artisans chiseled galaxies into obsidian. Poets sang of a realm where the Erdtree's roots frayed into nothing. The greatest of them, the architect king, dreamed of a bridge between worlds, a key turned in a lock unseen. Yet even then, shadows pooled in the blueprint's margins. Why do the ruins below hold roads that never curved in the surface skies? Why do the great ones' hymns echo with a name the stars refuse to keep, glory calcified into warning? The frenzied flame, tamed for an age, began to seep. Its glow warped the stone, turning homage into heresy. What the city built to unite became the fault line where two worlds' bones would crack. The architect king's final design was not a bridge, but a fracture. Nokron did not fall, it split. One world burned under the Erdtree's curse. The other sleeps beneath ash, waiting for the flame to wake and burn the wrong sky. The Elden ring broke. Marika's hands, once clasped to the stars, cracked the vessel of the gods. Godwyn's stolen breath had already poisoned the throne. What Nokron reveals is not a city but a shadow of what could have been. Blueprints etched in its stone do not match the surface, they surpass it. Corridors twist where no mountains stand. Towers rise where only dust remains. A mirror world, not lost buried. The flame that once fed the Erdtree was never its lifeblood. It was a chain, Gwyn knew. He burned to escape it. Marika shattered to unmake it. The subterranean city is proof. The lands between was but one draft of a cursed design. Nokron's streets hum with the wrong kind of divinity. Its spires reject the sky. Its people who hat little remains do not worship the tree. They study it, as if waiting for the roots to wither. The curse is not in the Erdtree's rot, it is in the blueprint itself. Every ruin below whispers the same truth. The surface world is the prototype, flawed. Experimental, abandoned, but why would the gods build a city to replace the living? What does it mean that Nokron's gates remain sealed, not by time, but by the absence of a key that never existed above? The flame is out. The mirror waits, and beneath the ash, something older than the gods turns in its sleep. But the ruin you walk through now is later than that, the wound opened wider still. The flame's absence birthed this shadow city, its blueprints etched with truths the Erdtree erased. Here the tarnished are not saviors, but witness-escaled to bear the weight of a grace that was never lost, only stolen. What mirrors a curse if not a choice? The city breathes beneath ash, waiting for the few who dare unmake what was never meant to be made. The architects saw the truth too late. The Erdtree was no sanctuary, it was a tomb. Its roots drank not life, but captivity. The omens, bound to their vows, were cast out, their hollow eyes blazing with rejection. The first flame dimmed first in Nokron. Gwyn, flame-wrought king, fled its dying light. He left the gates unbarred, the streets to rot. The last to hold it was High Priestess Malrin. She chained herself to the central spire, chanting blueprints of a world that did not exist. The walls bled echoes. The dead, denied rest, clawed at the stone. Their madness pooled in the crypts where the undead curse took root. No dirge could silence them. No door could contain their wails. Malrin's final prayer was etched in ash. Asterisk, let the mirror shatter, asterisk. Below the blueprints, a truth was buried, a design not of gods, but of those who knew the Erdtree's lie. The city's veins now hold the weight of unspoken names, the shape of a future Gwyn never fought to burn. Why do the walls remember what the surface forgets? The curse is not broken. It waits as the tombs breathe, for hands to unweave the threads of a prison woven in starlight and regret. Hollowed, rotted, frozen, its spires, once twinned to the surface's dreams, now lean like broken vows. Stone corridors whisper with the absence of footsteps. Faded murals depict cities that never rose, roads that never bent the lands between as they might have been, if the Erdtree's rot had not gnawed its roots. What was built here beneath the weight of the world remains unfinished. A city halted mid-breath. The blueprints are carved deep, but their lines are severed. No doors lead where they should. Bridges arch into void. The architecture defies logic, yet hums with purpose, a design abandoned before its first dawn. Here the lie persists, faint gold light pools in shattered windows as if the sun still cares. But the glow does not warm, it merely watches. Silence is the only tenant now. No prayers, no echoes of the architects who vanished. Only the cold, patient geometry of failure. The Erdtree's curse is not a wound here. It is a mirror, and in its reflection, the surface world's fate is already etched, unrealized, unfulfilled, waiting. The Erdtree burial watchdog does not guard graves. It guards the threshold where the living dead are unmadates howl a requiem for those the Erdtree spits back. Lady Maria of the Hunt does not chase chalice dungeons. She chases the omens, her spear tipped with the hollowed hearts of rejects who dare return. The Great Ones prowl Nokron's veins, their grotesque forms writhing with half-born children, offspring of the moon and the damned, their cries a language the Erdtree cannot parse. The hollow ones, neither dead nor alive, are not its denizens. They are its architecture, their hollow eyes holding blueprints of a lands between that never was, a city mirrored in bone. And the tarnished who wander here, their golden armor cracked, carry not salvation but the question, if the Erdtree's curse is a mirror, what shatters when they bleed upon its glass? The answer lies buried where two worlds collide, corpse at a time. The Ashen One's armor lies in fragments, iron etched with ash, its patterns map a war no surface annal dares name. Biogenworth's tablets, carbonized yet legible, speak of old blood extracted not to heal, but to bargain. A church rose here where prayers were barter, and the frenzied flame sigils sear the stone like wounds each glyph, a contested border between the outer gods and the Erdtree's hollow heart. What did the frenzied flame burn in Nokron streets? These blueprints, carved deeper than any surface geography, depict citadels that crumble under the weight of their own non-existence. No cartographer above knows these roads. Their curves defy gravity, as if drawn by a hand that saw the lands between split at its seams. Biogenworth scholars must have traced such lines, translating ruin into doctrine, until their old blood became both balm and ransom. A tremor passes through the relics. The frenzied flame's mark is not just a symbol, it is a scar, a god's clenched fist against a threshold. The Ashen armor's fractures mirror the Erdtree's own, as if this subterranean mirror holds the curse in reverse. What shatters when they bleed upon its glass? The answer hums in the gaps between sigils, in the silent duel of blueprints that never were. Nokron is no tomb, it is a blueprint for unmaking. A parallel world where the curse already bled dry. Nokron is a mirror held to the Erdtree's hollow core. Its spires echo with the weight of choices never made, paths where the cycle was broken, not repeated. Here the ritual of link, let fade or usurp, is etched into stone, each archway a failed experiment in ending the age that will not end. The blueprints found in its depths are not maps but warnings, echoes of a lands between where the first flame burned without corruption, where the eclipse merged without shattering. Gwyn's flame, Marika's star, both traded eternity for imperfection. In Nokron, their compromises are carved into the dust. The city's design reveals what the Erdtree could become when divinity is not a prize, but a burden. Its streets are a palimpsest of cycles, a throne usurped, a flame relit, a sky collapsed, all outcomes already played to their bleak conclusions. The cycle is not a mystery, it is a mechanism. Every link is a spark in a doomed engine, every fade a delay, every usurp a reset. Nokron's architects understood this too late. Their blueprints show a world where the curse was spent before it could spread, a parallel failure, a shadow of the lands between's own slow unmaking. What remains is certainty. The Erdtree's design is not sacred, it is a pattern, and patterns can be rewritten. Nokron's stones hold the proof. The curse is not eternal, it is merely unfinished. What if Nokron's blueprints are more than relics? The subterranean city's corridors mirror the lands between it. Its schematics show structures never built above. The interior ministry's sealed archives and the wolf's iron code may hold answers. But here's what lingers. Why did its architects encode a world they never created? Follow